You don't even realize it, but the way that you are viewing yourself, the way that you're speaking to yourself and thinking so poorly of yourself is hindering your success. It's hindering your happiness. It's destroying your growth. It is keeping you stuck in your ways, and you will never be truly happy if you continue to be your own worst enemy, your own biggest bully. So if you want to learn how to end that cycle, level up your life, and unlock the hottest, highest, and healthiest version of yourself, this is the podcast for you. Welcome to today's episode of Hot and Unbothered. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to my podcast. If you are new here, my name is Brianna Gomez, or you can call me Bri, and I am your host of Hot and Unbothered. If you clicked on this episode, stay a while. I am so happy you're here, and I truly, from the bottom of my heart, believe that there is a reason why you felt called to click on this specific episode. If you've never listened to a single episode of mine before, there's a reason why this is the one that you stumbled upon, or maybe someone in your life sent you this because they want you to hear it. This message is for you. Whether or not you want to believe it, this will change your life today. So go ahead, if you're committed to becoming the hottest, highest, and healthiest version of yourself, hit the follow button on the podcast, stay a while, get out your notes app, get out your journal. We are dialing in today because it is time to release this preconceived idea that you have of yourself, that you are not worthy, that you are not capable, that you'll just never be able to be that confident girl, that beautiful girl, the girl that deserves the world, that gets the treatment that she deserves. Maybe you struggle with insecurity, maybe you struggle with anxiety, self-hate, maybe you don't like the person you see when you look in the mirror, maybe your thoughts are just always eating you alive. For some of us, it may be comparison or jealousy. Whatever it is, today we are taking that and we are throwing it out the window, because I don't think you realize that it is keeping you so stuck. A lot of us are so careful with the ways that we treat other people in our relationships, our family situations, our coworkers, our school life, but we are not realizing that the most important relationship you have is the one that you have with yourself. And a lot of us are our own biggest bullies, our own biggest enemies, our biggest haters, our biggest ops, without even recognizing it. You might have no idea that the way you are treating yourself, talking to yourself, viewing yourself is the thing that's holding you back in life. It's the thing that's keeping you stuck in your sadness, in your unhappiness, in your depression, in your anxiety. It all starts from within. Whatever preconceived ideas you have about yourself today, we are throwing them out the window and we are becoming brand new today. There is no stronghold that is too strong for us to break. But before we dive into this episode, you guys know I love to share a podcast review. Today we have one from Jules. She said, "I'm 14 years old and I live in Spain. I found this podcast last summer and it has truly made an impact on my perception and my self-care. It's good to have something real and grounded with all the overwhelming information out there on the internet." True. It's been a tough journey trying to love myself, but this helps me feel a little lighter every day. Thank you so much. Jules, thank you so much for this sweet podcast review. I love you so much, and I'm so proud of you for working on your self-care and your self-perception. And that is the perfect review that's going to lead us into today's episode, that you are strong enough to reframe your perception of yourself, to start your self-care. It is never too early or too late to start building a healthy relationship with yourself in clearing out that negative mindset. So many of us have this built-in, instilled negativity so deeply within us that we don't even realize that we're doing it. So maybe you might be coming into this episode thinking, I love myself. What are you talking about? You may have some habits that you don't even realize are self-sabotaging your happiness. So today we're going to dive in. There's a lot to dive into. Don't forget to leave a review on this episode for the chance to be featured next week. A very important thing for you to realize going into this episode is how powerful your mind is. Some of you may think there's no changing this. This is the way that I viewed myself my entire life. There's no coming back from it. Your mind is so powerful. So the things that you feed your mind, the media that you're intaking, the thoughts that you're having towards yourself, those are all affecting your identity. And your identity is something about you that is so powerful, yet we cling to the identity that we feel we are given. If you have been bullied in the past, or maybe you were left out a lot growing up from your family or your friend groups, some of us, we cling to that identity. You might tell yourself, oh, I'm always the bottom of the barrel, last pick of the whatever. What's the saying? Whatever. Last picked, last chosen, the unloved one, the odd one out. You might have this identity that you created for yourself. Or maybe you create this identity for yourself that you're just not the pretty friend, That's never been you. You're just not the cool one. You're the shy one. You are writing this story for yourself without even trying to break free from it, without even trying to step out of this box that you put yourself in. And when it comes to identity, your identity will determine your processes, and your processes will determine your outcomes. Meaning that if you identify as a certain kind of person, you identify as a shy friend, the process that you take going forward is going to be, okay, what would the shy girl do? She's not going to step out of the box. She's not going to be the first to introduce herself or volunteer to go speak in front of a room. She's going to walk into the room with her head down, right? Those are the kind of processes and actions that you identify with based off of this identity you have stuck with yourself. And these processes or actions will determine your outcomes. Because if you are being the shy girl who doesn't want to talk to anyone and you're walking in the room with your head down, you're not going to make any connections. But if you were to maybe have come out of your shell, who knows who you would have met? You could have met your husband. You could have met someone who is going to give you an amazing business opportunity. But instead, you are so clung to this identity you have let shape you your entire life. Well, what if you rewrote the narrative and you decided, I'm not going to think of myself in this light anymore? But we shut ourselves down so quickly. When you see something you want, maybe it's a famous singer, right? Just for a hypothetical. You see this Sabrina Carpenter on stage and you are looking at her and you're like, oh my gosh, she is so beautiful. She's so confident. She just owns the room. She totally takes the spotlight. And you're like, wow, that could never be me. Who says it can't be you? You don't realize that all of these people are just normal people and they are just like you. The only difference between you and your dream life or your dream self is that they actually took the risk and believed in themselves to do it. You are holding yourself back and you don't even realize it. So the number one thing I need you to clear out is this victim mindset. And you might not even realize you're doing it, but when you are thinking these negative thoughts and you develop this way of thinking, you are keeping so many doors closed for yourself. You are holding yourself back from so many opportunities and you don't even realize you might be just one change, one decision, one action, one lifestyle adjustment away from living your dream life, from changing the narrative completely. In quite literally any moment, you hold the power within you to override these feelings towards yourself with action, with change, with positive reinforcement. But we just choose to stick with this narrative or this identity that we have written for ourselves. But you have the power to override the negativity, to override this preconceived idea you have towards yourself, to make it something beautiful and to start fresh every single day. You are not the person who you were yesterday, and you owe it to yourself to take that opportunity to start fresh every single day. It's quite literally a domino effect, and you are one decision away from your dream life and from your dream self and from breaking free from this cage that you are keeping yourself in. It is quite literally a cage in your mind. It's such a powerful domino effect, truly, and you don't even realize it, but your decision to click on this episode today and to truly listen to what I am saying and taking this in, this is your domino effect moment. This is going to instill the positive reinforcement. This is going to change the way that you perceive yourself, and you're going to go from being your worst enemy and your biggest bully to being your best friend and your own biggest cheerleader. And how are we going to do that today? Number one thing I need you to do, those self-limiting beliefs, throw them out the window. We are constantly swarming our mind with these negative thoughts, self-doubt, self-limiting beliefs. It's almost like we are now hardwired as a society and as humans to start our day with negative thoughts, with the I can't do it, I won't be good enough, I'm not the kind of person who can achieve those things or go for those goals. You keep yourself in a box. Like I was just saying, you keep yourself in this cage, and it's so sad. I've used this analogy before, but self-doubt, self-limiting beliefs that we have and we hold ourselves to think that they are true, it's a cage in our mind. But what you don't realize is that you have the key the whole time. You're stuck in this cage and you see all the beautiful life around you, everyone else getting what they want, and you're like, wow, it feels so close, I could almost grasp it. Too bad I can't just walk out of this cage. Hello, you hold the key to open that cage. It's in your hand, and you spend your whole life in this cage, and it might be swarming with negativity. There's piranhas and sharks in the cage, and you're just standing there and you're all scared. There's a key the whole time, babes, and it is your mind. In order for any of this to work, I need you to recognize how truly powerful your mind is and how we get more of what we focus on. Scientifically proven, you get more of what you focus on. If you are focusing on the bad things, you're going to notice all the bad things. That's why when people say, oh, I'm just having a rainy day today. Maybe your car broke down, you're running late for work, and now you're just claiming it as a negative day, a rainy day, and you're going to notice every little thing that goes wrong, and you are just going to take that as your day's identity. You're going to say, oh, I'm just identifying this as a rainy day. Everything else is going to go wrong. Well, what if we rewrote the narrative and we changed that perspective and you became the person who just focuses on the good? And the same thing applies when we are looking at ourselves. When you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is you're checking your phone to see maybe how many likes that your photo got, and it's never enough. Or to see if that boy texted you and he didn't, so now you feel bad. Or to see someone else's life on your phone and you're constantly comparing yourself. Why doesn't my life look like that? Why don't I have her hair, her body, her skin, her nails? And then you stand up and you look in the mirror and you lift up your shirt and you're seeing if you have abs yet. You're seeing if you woke up bloated, or you're looking at how pale you are or how much weight you gained or lost. And it's never enough. It's never ever good enough. You are waking up and you are actively choosing to go look in the mirror and pick out your flaws. And whatever you go looking for, you will find it if you look long enough. So if you stand there in the mirror looking for all the flaws, you will find something, but it will never end. You know, today you might be pointing out my eyebrows are uneven. You do your eyebrows and then tomorrow you're like, wait, now I don't like the way my nose is shaped. You will always find something if you go looking for it. And if you go looking for the positive things, imagine how much you will find. You can stare at yourself in the mirror and you can point out a million things about yourself that you don't like if you go looking for it. We're humans. We have pores. We have hair that grows places where you don't want hair. You have eyelashes that grow in different directions. We are not chemically man-made. We are made by someone who has such a beautiful vision for our life, who created us to be perfect in their eyes, not perfect in society's eyes. So I'll dive more into this, but I need you to pay attention to what you are thinking about. Because if you are focusing on the negative things, of course you're going to find more negative things. And of course you're going to feel more negatively about yourself. But what if you flip that switch in your brain to be the person who chooses the good thing? Who wakes up and wants to find the beauty in life and in themselves and in others instead of the negative. Because if you're searching for the flaws in yourself automatically, you're going to start noticing the flaws in others and you're going to become this pessimistic person that you don't want to be. If you are constantly looking for the flaws within yourself, that's how you're hardwiring your brain. So now you're going to live life walking through it and saying, oh, this is negative. I don't like this about this person or this place. You're going to find the negative in everything because now that's how your brain is wired. You need to flip the switch. Because how enjoyable would life be if you walked through it and you saw the beauty in everyone and everything, even if they were imperfect? So pay attention to what you're thinking about because it is so, so powerful just to switch your mindset. The people who love themselves the most think about themselves the least. And the people who think about themselves the most love themselves the least. You are thinking about the wrong things. The person who wakes up in the morning and the first thing she does is go look in the mirror and starts nitpicking herself apart, poking at her skin and her eyebrows and saying her makeup doesn't look good enough, her hair's too frizzy, her body isn't the way that she wants it to be, or she's going on her phone and she's looking at all her pictures and saying that she doesn't look good enough in any of them. That girl is not the girl who loves herself. That girl is the girl with the low self-esteem, who needs other people's validation, who needs that approval, and who doesn't think she will ever be good enough. But you know who does love herself is the girl who wakes up and she has this lust for life. She has this desire to wake up with gratitude, to fill her heart, to fill the hearts of those around her, and she is looking at life like it is beautiful. And she has the glow that is unattainable for those who are so busy being too concerned with themselves and their appearances. They will never be as happy or as free or as successful or as magnetic as the girl who wakes up loving herself and loving her life and who doesn't even choose to go look in the mirror and pick herself apart. She chooses to say, you know what? I love who I am. I love my life. And I am perfect the way I am, regardless of what anyone else thinks. And when we have these self-limiting beliefs instilled within us, we think that we're stuck with it. But I need you to recognize that it is never too late to take a new path. It is never too late to make the switch, and it doesn't have to be instant, right? The first thing you have to do is plant the seed. The seed does not blossom into a flower or a tree the same day that you plant it. It all takes time, but healing and growth is not linear. Healing and growth does not happen overnight, but you have to have the right core beliefs in order to give yourself the proper tools to grow and flourish. If you are trying to make a flower grow, the flower is not going to grow if you don't give it any sunlight, if you don't give it any water. If you're in a car, the car is not going to go anywhere if you don't put any gas in it. And I need you to also stop shrinking yourself down. We put ourselves in this box that we think we try to contain all that we are in this little box. And when it starts overflowing, when we have too many emotions or too many feelings or too much to say, some of us who are struggling with self-love or self-limiting beliefs, we try to reel it back in. We try to shrink ourselves down so small to fit into this box in order to fit someone else's standards, to fit someone else's capacity. Stop trying to be smaller than you are. It is such a great thing to be a lot. And I struggle with this my whole life. I am so much. I'm dramatic. I like to talk a lot. I am very, very emotional. And those used to be my least favorite parts of myself. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it still comes back to bite me, but that's who I am. And you have to stop trying to change yourself to fit someone else's box, to fit their capacity, because that's not you. Embrace your muchness. I used to have this fear of being too much. Embrace your muchness. When you are that person who walks into a room and tries to hide and keep their head down and stay out of plain sight, you are not living up to your full potential. You are not filling your capacity. You are trying to keep yourself in that box with the door shut and locked up. You need to be open. You need to let that part of you out, because who knows what amazing opportunities it will lead to if you embrace your muchness. Just be yourself. Be the person who you've been dying to be your whole life instead of trying to shrink yourself down. And also stop apologizing. And I'm guilty of this one. I apologize for almost anything and everything, but I'm definitely getting better at it. And this can be tied down to a lot of things like past traumas, past relationships, family stuff. So past traumas, past relationships, family things. But I need you to know you do not have to apologize for being a lot. You don't have to apologize for, sorry I talk so much. Sorry I just had a lot to say. Sorry I'm just feeling emotional today. Sorry I just need someone to talk to. We find ourselves, when we talk too much to somebody, when our story goes on a little too long, when we're rambling, when we're ranting, you're apologizing. What's there to be sorry for? You're just being yourself and speaking your mind, and that is a beautiful thing and a skill that so many people don't have. So stop taking back things the second that you say them. And on top of the self-limiting beliefs, I need you to get rid of the victim mindset where you walk around, moping around, thinking, no one likes me, I don't have any friends, no boys are ever gonna like me. Girl, you saying those thoughts out loud to yourself, that is becoming your identity. I need you to rewrite the narrative, because when you create this victim mindset for yourself, that is who you become. It is so real. And so when you're saying everything in my life goes wrong, I'm not worthy enough, no one likes me, that's becoming true the more and more you say it. So I need you to play the part. I need you to become the girl who believes in herself, become the girl who loves herself, and it's all about self-concept. However you view yourself is how others will view you as well, and that becomes the truth. I have an entire episode on self-concept. You need to listen to it after this if you haven't, but self-concept is so powerful, and even if you don't believe it's true right now, it will become true. Another place where we self-sabotage is with comparison. Comparison, as you've heard, is the thief of all joy. You will never be happy if you're constantly looking around to see what everyone else has that you don't. If you're running a race and you're too focused on looking at how close or far ahead the people around you or next to you are, you're going to trip, you're going to slow down, you're going to fall flat on your face. But what you need to do in order to win, in order to succeed and run the best that you can, is to keep looking forward. Focus on your own path, because no one else around you has the same path. We are all in different points in life, yet when you see someone doing doing better than you or who has more than you, you feel upset. Well, that's meant for them. That's not meant for you. And if it is meant for you, it will come. But you don't have to spend all your time and energy feeling jealousy or resentment towards this person or insecurity towards yourself for not being like this person, because it's not meant for you. And if it is, it will come when the time is right, but it's just going to slow you down if you're too focused on looking at what everyone else around you has. Comparison will destroy your self-esteem. It will destroy your personality because you become so invested in other people's lives, especially with social media, especially with these unrealistic expectations and standards that we see online. It's impossible almost for so many girls to feel comfortable and happy in their own skin. Or you see someone else who seems like they're getting sent on all these trips and have all this money and they're living this luxurious life. And you're like, wow, I wish my life were like that. Remember that you're also only seeing a highlight reel. And if those things were meant for you, they will come. But learn how to be grateful for what you have in the moment. Everyone wants to walk in someone else's shoes until they put them on and they're not comfortable. They put them on and they're giving them blisters and they hurt and you can't go very far, and you don't want those shoes. You might think for your whole life you want the shiny pair of shoes that you pass by in the window of the store every single day. They're $1 million pairs of shoes, red bottoms, and you spend your whole life taking all the shoes in your closet for granted, not wearing them, or when you do wear them, you're all petty about it, not enjoying them, you're insecure and embarrassed of these shoes, and then one day you save up and you sell all the shoes in your closet just to get this one pair of shoes, and you get them and you hate them and they don't fit right and they're uncomfortable and you're tripping over your feet and they're not cool anymore, they're not in style, and you hate your shoes. All that to say, we always want what we can't have. Even growing up, I remember girls in school who had curly hair, they wanted straight hair, and the girls who wanted straight hair, they wanted curly hair. Or if you have light hair, a lot of them want to dye their hair dark, and if you have dark hair, a lot of them want to try to go blonde. You always want to change yourself as far as you can from your natural way of being. And this isn't necessarily about dyeing hair, but it's about always wanting what we can't have. We always think that the grass is greener on the other side until you get to the other side and you're like, this sucks. But again, humans are wired these days to want something different, to be insecure within themselves, but look at what someone else has and say, wow, wouldn't that be nice? Without even considering even once what it would be like to actually walk a day in someone else's shoes. So this ties back to what I was saying of remembering that you are perfectly made. You were made with true and deep intention. There was a plan and trajectory for your life before you even came out of your mom's womb. There is a reason that you are here, and who you are today is so necessary and so vital for the entire world. You make up this universe, and God thought that this world needed someone like you. So stop trying to put yourself down and be ashamed of who you are and insecure in who you are when you were literally created with intention. Every single cell and atom of your skin and your genetic makeup was chosen and put together by someone who sees you and views you and knows exactly who you are meant to be in this life, yet you are ashamed by it. And I said this analogy in my episode about comparison, which I highly suggest you go listen to, but imagine if someone created a gift for you and they were planning it ahead of time, they put so much thought and effort into it, they tied it all up carefully with a bow, and they give it to you and you're like, I hate it. I don't want it. I want what that person has, but I am not happy with the gift that you have given me. And you're ashamed of it and you stomp all over it. You shove it under the rug. You don't want to look at it. And one of the biggest ways we self-sabotage ourselves is through insecurity and jealousy. It's not fair to you, and it's not fair to the people around you, because you are not yourself when you're insecure. When you are insecure, you are not only projecting that on yourself, but you're projecting it on the people around you. Like I was saying, you're constantly going to be looking for the flaws and insecurities in yourself and in other people. And it creates this pessimistic, negative, miserable way of living, all because you don't like yourself. So learning how to kill that jealousy and insecurity and being happy for people who have other things instead of constantly comparing yourself and looking for outside validation and trying to change yourself to be like others or to fit the mold or capacity that other people have for you, you're never going to be happy that way. And another thing I need you to do is to kill your ego. Again, our ego gets bruised when people have something that we don't, or we feel unchosen, we're not picked. So I need you to remember that you are better than no one, but also no one is better than you. The celebrities and influencers that you see on your screen, they're human also. They're not these superhuman beings that have these magical powers that got them in their place. God doesn't love them any more than he loves you. But at the same time, you need to stop being so obsessed with what people think about you, with what that boy you like is going to think of your outfit or your hair. You have to stop doing things for other people and start doing them for yourself. You have to stop worrying about if this person's going to like you. Well, it doesn't matter because you like you. And that's the most important thing. And you have to shift your mindset from being the person who walks into the room and thinks, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous, I hope they like me, to being that person who says, I hope I like them. We are so hard on ourselves, and it's so crucial to practice self-compassion. Self-compassion is truly treating yourself with genuine kindness in the same way that we would to another person, to a family member, to a friend, to a stranger, to a coworker. You prioritize these people in your life, right? By making sure that they like you, making sure you're kind to them, putting energy and effort into your conversations with them. You should be doing the exact same thing with yourself. I have an entire episode about dating yourself instead, or dating yourself before you are ready to date another person, because it's so, so crucial. By nature, we are our own biggest critics. Like I was saying earlier, you look for the flaws within yourself. What if you rewired that and started practicing self-love and started pointing out the things that you love within yourself? And a great way to do this is anytime you have a negative thought creep into your mind, replace it with a positive thought. If you find yourself thinking, oh my gosh, I hate the way my hair looks today, I want you to look in the mirror and say 3 things that you actually like about yourself. That easy. Practicing forgiveness is also huge. When we do something wrong, it's so easy to cling onto it, and I'm guilty of this. When something goes wrong, I sit with it for so long, and I love to overthink it and overanalyze it and let myself get anxious of it. Learn to let go and forgive yourself because you are only human. I also have an entire episode on overthinking that I highly recommend you listen to. It's so, so important. But acknowledging and forgiving yourself for past mistakes is so healing. You don't have to be so hard on yourself. It is your job to be your own best friend and your own biggest supporter because you are the only person that you have from the day you are born until the day that you die. You are the only person that will consistently be there for yourself. Yet you choose to be so hard on yourself and so self-critical. Practice some empathy and some love towards yourself, and it will make all the difference. We also create these unrealistic expectations for ourselves that we literally want ourselves to be perfect. So many people, they're so careful with what they say when they're talking to other people. They want to make sure they don't hurt anyone's feelings. They want to make sure they're articulating their thoughts correctly. But then when it comes to yourself, you have no filter. You're not trying to protect your own feelings. You're not trying to be gentle with yourself or patient with yourself or understanding at all. You give yourself no grace. You are so patient with those around you. And then when it comes to yourself, you are expecting the absolute most outrageous, unattainable, perfect standards. So I want you guys to practice putting actual weight behind your words because words truly do hurt and it doesn't matter who they're coming from. Many of us think that, oh, it's just me talking to myself. It doesn't matter. It's not like you're saying these thoughts to other people. No one else is saying it to you. It's just you and your own thoughts. It is so the opposite of that. Your thoughts are so heavy, and when they are internally echoing in your brain, blaring like an alarm, and all you will constantly hear from yourself is negative things, that holds so much weight. So I want you to put some weight behind your words, show some responsibility for the things that come out of your mouth, and start being more mindful of the things you're thinking and you're saying. And this goes down to the tiniest things, even jokes in conversation. I know so many people who they'll mess up, right? And they're like, oh, I hate myself, or oh, I'm so dumb, I'm so silly for that. Or it used to be so normalized when I was growing up, especially, to be like, I hate my life, or I'm gonna KMS. Do you know how powerful those words are and how literal they are? You are saying the heaviest things, but we are just making light of it and we act like our words hold zero weight. Your words are so heavy because whatever your brain hears, it doesn't know the difference between sarcasm. It doesn't know this difference between jokes and exaggerations. It's just hearing the negative thoughts and the negative connotations, and it's going to create and produce more negative energy. But imagine if you were talking to a child. If you were raising a child, would you talk to them that way? Would you throw around words and just take them so lightly? Imagine if you were a child and people kept saying, oh, you're so dumb, you're so stupid, I hate you, I'm going to unalive you. Hello? That would make your mind so confused. Yet we don't realize we're doing the same thing to ourselves to this day. So one practice that I've mentioned before that really helps people when they're trying to be more gentle with their words towards themselves is to put a little picture of your younger self by your mirror every day. If you have trouble picking yourself apart, being super self-critical, put a picture of your younger self, because when you are talking negatively about yourself, that is you. That little baby that God created with so much love and intention. You are the same precious little baby, yet you are tearing them apart. That is not fair to you or the people who created you or the people who care about you. So when you're faced with a feeling that you did something wrong and you're being super hard on yourself, I want you guys to practice accept, love, and let go. So for example, we're working with failure. You messed up really badly. You should have done something differently. You did not succeed at whatever the goal was. First step, accept it. I messed up. What can I do about it? I messed up, but show yourself some compassion, because your younger self who just messed up, who just got hurt, she is so used to you being so critical and so hard on her. What if you try and offer some compassion instead? Accept what happened, give yourself that grace, and then learn to let go. Because worrying about something, having anxiety, overthinking something, that is not going to fix what happened. That is not going to change what happened. The best way that you can come back from this is to learn and do it better next time. Beating yourself up over something is not going to make you stronger. If you messed up in a social situation, your social anxiety was just eating you alive, you didn't say the right things, you messed up, you embarrassed yourself, what is slapping yourself on the wrist and racking your brain over and over again thinking I should have done X, Y, Z differently? What is that going to do? But if you accept what happened, show yourself some love, give yourself some grace, and started building yourself up to be more loving and more confident and more outgoing, that's going to make you better for next time. Just practicing mindfulness and intention within every single thing you do, as well as your actions on a day-to-day basis and the goals you set for yourself. A lot of people create these goals that they are so tough on themselves for the wrong reasons. And what I mean by this is, for example, you want to start eating healthier, right? But are you doing this because you actually want to care for your body, fuel it with the right things, you want to live longer, you want to feel better internally? Or are you doing it because this celebrity's doing the same diet? Or you want to lose 10 pounds by summer so that boy likes you or notices you? You have to do it for the right reasons. And when you start doing things and make this shift from doing it for external validation or doing it because you hate something about yourself and you need to change it so badly, if you switch that to, I love myself and I want myself to feel better, live longer, be more confident, it becomes so much easier to fulfill. In today's day and age, we see people do things out of greed instead of out of love, out of necessity or jealousy or material value instead of love. We see people want to chase down this career path because everyone else is doing it, or because it's the flashiest, or because it's the most success oriented and it looks the best on their resume and their parents will be proud of them, not because it makes them happy and they're passionate about it. Do you see where we are already creating this disconnect between what we are doing and what's good for us? But oftentimes, we don't care what's good for us, which is so, so sad. This is your life. This is no one else's life. But we live in this way where we are afraid. And we are afraid of what people will think and how they will react. And so that's what we live our life according to. That is so twisted. And I think you'll find that when you start living your life for you, you become a lot less self-critical. Oftentimes we criticize ourselves because we're trying to fit a certain mold, play a certain part. But if you just start doing what fuels your soul, it becomes so much easier to love yourself and treat yourself with kindness and empathy and compassion. So how are we going to start loving ourselves? How are we going to start treating ourselves with compassion? A huge aspect of that starts with prioritizing self-care every single day. And I don't care if you are the busiest person on the planet. We need to stop living like we are robots. We have to stop living life on autopilot. We are trained to live in this 9-to-5 world. We wake up, we get ready, we go to school or work, we come back, we repeat the same thing all over again. You need to make some time for yourself and connect with yourself. Again, it's like taking yourself on dates, learning to spend true quality time of essence with yourself. And let me just start by saying, laying in bed for hours by yourself, doom scrolling, scrolling does not count as quality time or dating yourself or solitude. If there's one thing about this generation, it's that we almost fear or avoid at all costs solitude, which is being alone with no distractions, no external factors, no TV, music, podcast in the background, being alone with you, reflecting internally with no one but yourself or God. This is through prayer. This is through meditation. This is through journaling. This is through taking a walk in nature by yourself with no music playing and just thinking and sitting and being alone with your thoughts. This is how you will connect with yourself. This is how you will find the deeply rooted cause of this self-hatred, of this self-sabotage, of this self-criticism. Because when was the last time that you did something truly for yourself? Not because someone else told you to, not because your favorite influencer or celebrity did it, or your friends are all doing it, or because you have to and you signed up for it for work or school, etc. No. When was the last time you did something for no one else but yourself? You owe that to yourself. Your body and your mind is so much for you. It picks you up every day. It carries you throughout life. Yet we don't think it. Yet we don't take the time to say, what does my soul need right now and what can I do for it to make it feel stronger, better, happier? The other day, yesterday actually, I took myself horseback riding lesson because that is what my younger self wanted. When I was younger, I wanted to be a horseback rider, and I have just been craving detaching from the social media world, from work life, from all of the stress, and reattaching to my roots, reattaching to nature, grounding myself deeply without any phone, without any distractions, because yes, I am so incredibly busy. I have a real, actual day job, and I have my social media on top of that, and I found myself, even in my free time, not being able to fully clear my head, because with social media, especially as an occupation, there's always something more you could be doing. I've been so hard on myself. There's always more editing, more posting that you could do, more interacting, more engaging, and I could not escape. So what really freed me to give myself the break that I deserved is putting myself in a situation completely disconnected from all of that, just in nature, grounding myself, something that would feed my soul and heal me. And it was so amazing. So invest in your happiness and learn how to take a step back and make time for the things that make you feel happy and full again. Because we often don't prioritize those things. Why would I prioritize horseback riding and a hobby? Well, actually, it's just as important as school and work and fulfilling your other relationships. Because if you aren't whole within yourself, if you aren't creating a loving relationship with yourself, you won't be able to put your all into the other aspects of your life. It is so, so crucial that we focus on self-love. Yet we created this relationship with ourselves where we are our own biggest enemy. Treat yourself because you deserve it. So engaging in activities that bring joy. This could be any hobby. This could be art. This could be journaling. This could be taking a walk, getting enough sleep, exercising. The bounds of this are truly limitless, but stop looking for distractions. Stop looking to your phone and digging yourself a deeper hole. Start looking for things that will heal your soul, and it feels so much better. And stop surrounding yourself with people who promote negative thinking. If you are around someone who constantly puts themselves down, you'll start to notice once you start paying attention that they put other people down as well. So either help them correct that, and if they can't, you need to remove that person from your life, and that is okay. But you deserve to be surrounded by positive, supportive, uplifting people in a community. And that's why I love you guys so much. We have our Hot and Unbothered group chat that you can join. We all uplift each other, share things about our day, and I truly love talking to you. It's on my Instagram DMs. And before I send you off today, I need you guys to practice, yes, replacing the negative thoughts with 3 positive things about yourself. You can write them down, practice your daily affirmations in the mirror. But as you end this episode and you go on with your day, I need you to practice writing yourself a love letter. When we ask ourselves, who am I? You often start by saying your name or your age or where you live, what you do for work. But who are you deeper than that, and what do you love about yourself? Some things I love about myself, I love how caring I am. I think I'm a very nurturing person, and I'm a deep thinker, and I like being creative. Think of all the things you love about yourself the same way you would write a romantic letter to the boy that you're in love with. Write a love letter professing your love to yourself. all of the things that you love about yourself, how proud you are of yourself, because I am proud of you. Today, you planted the seed of self-love, and I am so excited to watch it grow within you. And whatever lies you were telling yourself this morning before this episode last night, that you are not good enough, that you'll never be able to break this vicious cycle of self-hatred, you can, because you are right now. I believe in you. I love you so, so much. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to give it a review for the chance to be featured in next week's episode. Rate it 5 stars on Spotify. You can join me on my socials at Brianna Gomez with 2 B's on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. I am always active on there, as well as Pinterest. Follow the podcast at Hot Unbothered on TikTok and Instagram as well. I am so grateful and proud of you that you took the time to listen through this. I'm so happy you're here, and I can't wait to spend more time with you next week. I love you guys so, so much, and I will see you next Bri Day. Bye. Mwah.